A key Iowa evangelical leader is endorsing Ron DeSantis for president. Bob Vander Plaats announced his support for the GOP candidate's bid just last night. He said DeSantis has, quote, the experience to win for us. But the Florida governor trails far behind former President Donald Trump in Iowa and nationally, according to recent polls. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now to talk about this and some other stories. Scott, I know you're speaking with Vander Plaats for America Decides tonight about his endorsement. Just how influential is he in the Hawkeye state? How big of a deal is this?
In any traditional presidential year, it's just pivotal. Vander Plaats endorsed the winner of the Iowa caucuses in 2008, in 2012, and 2016. In any traditional presidential year, it's a landmark moment. This, of course, is not a traditional presidential year, and his non-endorsement of Donald Trump has already elicited the fiery social media posts from Donald Trump that he is known to punch out when somebody goes against him politically, blasting Vander Plaats and then blasting Vander Plaats' choice, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. This is the second of two very big endorsements in Iowa for DeSantis, not just the governor, Kim Reynolds, but now the leader of the Family Forum, the family leader, Bob Vander Plaats, who's already addressed the criticism from Trump, saying it was predictable, it was expected. We will press him more, though, on what he expects to happen next as Donald Trump continues to try to push against the tide of the evangelical leadership of Iowa and still court the evangelical base and voters in the Iowa caucuses.
In the video we were just playing, we were seeing former ambassador and Governor Nikki Haley there at the Family Forum event. And while there's this endorsement of DeSantis, which could give him a boost, DeSantis has been trailing in GOP polling. Donald Trump is still the favorite, and Nikki Haley is making some gains. So where are we at the moment when it comes to this jockeying for the nomination?
Still with a particularly intense focus in Iowa for Ron DeSantis. He's been unequivocal about that, Errol, that this is his battleground. This is where he's channeling his resources, channeling his time, and channeling his energy. Nikki Haley is kind of bifurcating her approach, mixing it between Iowa and New Hampshire, where she seems to be getting momentum in the polls. But momentum has always been so relevant in this case, but it's also particularly disproportionate. You know, Donald Trump has had a seismic lead in all these polls throughout this process. That really hasn't changed much. So what you see is a jockeying for second place. But the bigger question, Errol, is what value is second place when the leader is 30, 40 points ahead?
Right. And I know that on the show tonight, you'll also discuss the big controversy surrounding New York Republican Congressman George Santos. There's a push now to expel him in the wake of a report that was scathing and found that he misled and lied to his donors and to voters. How much support is there among House Republicans now for this, considering he survived a kind of no confidence vote, so to speak, not too long ago?
Two things are clear, Errol. First of all, his report among fellow Republicans since that first expulsion vote earlier this month is shrinking because of the damning Ethics Committee report, which was uniquely scathing and parallels the federal prosecution accusations against Santos, for which he goes on trial in September. But something else is clear, too. This is a pretty big, long holiday weekend for George Santos' future in the U.S. House. It could be Monday, as early as Monday of next week, that the momentum starts building and a trajectory starts being built towards an expulsion vote, another one against Santos. This time, an expulsion vote authored by the chairman of the House Ethics Committee, the Republican who is uniquely well-positioned to bring such a motion. There have already been people who didn't vote for his expulsion earlier this month who say they will now. So there's a moment here of 4 or 5 days where momentum can build, supporters can join this effort, and George Santos may have the walls closing in by this time next week.
Certainly seems that the clock is ticking. All right, Scott MacFarlane, thank you for that. Have a great Thanksgiving with the family when you get there.
You too.
Folks can watch America Decides at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS News.